calling out for obscure story time. There we go. Good Lord. We'll get there. Everyone just chill out. Fuck the curfew. We'll just keep going, alright? Anyway, so I used to be a very political young man. I used to think if I threw enough bricks at enough working class policemen, then I would overthrow something and replace it with something more awesome in which more people listen to the Ramones and everyone would be happy. Now it turns out I was full of shit. No, I definitely was full of shit. Definitely was full of shit. Anyway, but I used to go on a lot of demonstrations. The last big demonstration I went on was in London in 2001-ish. So I went down, and the police in the UK do this thing called kettling, right? And what that means is they get the demonstrators, they get you in a group, in a little square of about 200 people, and they make you stand there for 8 hours, and you're not allowed to piss, right? Obviously that's a long time, so you do piss, and then you get arrested for pissing in public, and the whole thing's completely fucking annoying. And it's basically an attempt to irritate people out of going on demonstrations, and it's actually quite effective because it's fucking irritating. Anyway, so there I am on this demo, checking out the scene, do you know what I mean? See what's going down. I noticed that the police had started driving these lines through the crowd, which is what they do, just set up the whole kettling thing, and I thought to myself, I've got better places to be. That's not true, incidentally, I was a student. But I thought I did. So I start making my way towards what looks like the only remaining exit from this little square, but before I get there, the cops come blustering through the crowd, push everyone out of the way, and the cop line smashes into the wall in front of me, and I'm trapped in this little square with about 200 people. I was like, fuck, and I turned on my heel and I ran straight into my very first and very annoying girlfriend, who I hadn't seen for about 4 years, who said, oh, you fucking haven't called me, and fucking said, exactly like that. And I thought to myself, for the love of fucking God, out of all of the people in this universe that I could get stuck with in a small square for 8 fucking hours, not pissing, it had to be you. So I went to the police lines and I found the chief policeman, who was identifiable by his bright plumage. And I said to him, I have to get the fuck out of here now. And he said, I know, that's the point. Go away. I said, no. I told him a long tale of woe about this woman and why she was fucking such a complete tard. And I'm not being rude, she's an equal opportunities annoyer. If you met her, she'd annoy you as well. Very, very kind of giving in that kind of way. Anyway, so I told him this long story about why she was annoying. He listened to my tale, and he looked around, and he thought about it for a bit, and then he whispered to me, he said, play along. And I was like, and then he hit me in the face with his shield. Right? Went down the ground, and he kind of grabbed me and pulled me through the police cordon by the back of my shirt and got up and starts running. And he's running, but he's holding the back of my jacket, and I'm doing that kind of running like this sort of thing. I'm like, probably not good. You know what I mean? Hit in the face, running along like a weirdo. Anyway, so we're running down this deserted street away from the police cordon in the demonstration, and we get to the first turning off the street, which is a little alleyway, and it's the first place you can get to where you're not in the line of sight of any of the other cops or demonstrators. And I thought to myself, Rodney King. Too soon? I thought I was going to get my fucking ass kicked, basically. I'd seen it happen to friends of mine, and I wasn't ready for it. But instead of beating me up, I got around the corner, the guy grabbed the labels on my shirt, he looked me deep in the eyes through his little perspex visor, and he said, run. It's a true story. This song's called Love Iron Song. Teacher of mine once told me that life was just a list of disappointments and defeats, and you could only do your best. And I said, well, that's a fucking cop-out. You're just washed up and you're tired, and when I get to your age, well, I won't be such a coward. But these days I sit at home, I'm known to shout at my TV, and punk rock didn't live up to what I'd hoped that it could be. And all the things that I believe with all my heart when I was young are just coasters for beers and clean surfaces for drugs. I packed all my pamphlets with my Bibles at the back of the shelf. bad enough, the feeling the first time it hit, when you realize that your parents and that the world will go to shit, and that the values and ideals for which many had fought and died had been killed off in the committees and left to die by the wayside. But it was worse when we turned to these kids on the left. I got let down again by some poor excuse for protest. Yeah, by idiot fucking hippies in 50 different factions who were locked inside some kind of 60s battle reenactment. So I hung up my banner in disgust and I head for the door. All at once we were young and we were crass enough to care, but I guess you live and learn. Oh, you won't make that mistake again, no. Oh, but surely just one day, yeah, we could fight and we could win, but if only for a little while. We could insist on the impossible. Well, we've been a good few hours drinking, so I'm gonna say what everyone's thinking. If we're stuck on this ship and it's sinking, then we might as well have a parade. 'Cause if it's still gonna hide in the morning and our better plans yet to get forming, then where's the whole spending an evening in manning the old barricades? So come on, old friends, to the streets. Let's be 1905 and not 1917. Let's be heroes, let's be martyrs, let's be radical thinkers who never have to test drive the least of their dreams. Let's divide up the world into the damned and the saved, and then right to the valley like the old Night Brigade, and straighten our backs and we won't be afraid, and they'll celebrate our deaths with a national parade. So come on, let's be young, let's be crass enough to care, let's refuse to live and learn. Let's make all our mistakes again, yes. And then, darling, just one day, yeah, we could fight and we could win, but if only for a little while. We could insist on the impossible. Leave the morning to the morning, yeah, pain can be killed with aspirin tablets and vitamin pills. The memories of hope and of glorious defeat are a little bit harder to beat. Thank you. Just to balance it out, here's a song about growing up with